Mr. Dolan, have you received the interim report from NTSB?
From the Transportation Safety Board of Canada, Senator?
Sorry, yes, Canada.
We have received a draft report from the Transportation Safety Board back in August.
And did you make comment on that?
We provided some comments on the factual content of the report and our understanding of it and areas where we thought there could be clarification.
Okay. And time frame for that to come back?
We had a teleconference with our Canadian counterparts last Friday, and they assured us that their report would be published by the 1st of December.
So I'm happy to take this on notice, but you said there's some factual content and also there was a second area that you said you made comment on?
No, the factual content of the report. I was elaborating on the factual content, Senator, saying there were areas where we thought clarification of the factual content would be useful.
Okay. Second question, I'm happy to take this on notice. Could you tell me, in the last period since last estimates, how many safety-related incidents there have been that ATSB has investigated? And as a subset of that, how many, if any, relate to a pilot who had a colour vision deficiency?
I'm not aware. I think we can safely say, Senator, we have not investigated anything that relates to an occurrence notified to us relating to a colour division, a colour deficiency,
No.
colour vision deficiency.
That doesn't surprise me, but if you could still come back to me with a number
We'll confirm that.
That would be great. Thank you.
On notice, Senator.
Thanks, Chair.
That's my beauty. Okay, real quickly, Mr. Dolan, if I can, since the last estimates, we've had the terrible MH17 incident on the July 17th. Can you advise of the role of the ATSB in this matter?
The ATSB has been cooperating with the Dutch Safety Board, who are undertaking an accident investigation, nominally speaking, an Annex 13 investigation. As part of that process, we sent a team of 2 of our people to the Ukraine to support the Dutch investigation.
Okay. How has ATSB's role in the incident affected other investigations?
It was on a scale, Senator, that we could manage it within our normal investigator workload, so there's no direct effect.
Okay, is there any ongoing impact on ATSB on the MH17 matter?
We're continuing to work with the Australian Federal Police in terms of some technical matters, and so we're continuing to provide support in that area, and we continue to work with the Dutch Safety Board, and including working to understand Australian airline processes for assessing the safety of flight in conflict areas.
And Mr. Dolan, my last question, because of the time, have you received any additional resources since this shocking event?
No, Senator.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dolan. Chair.
Righto.
Thank you. I just want
3 minutes.
to ask some questions with regard to MH370. In particular, the Prime Minister said on the 11th of April this year, we're confident we know the position of the black box flight recorder to within some kilometres. Can I ask what critical detailed analysis of the signals was conducted before the Prime Minister went public in China on the 11th of April? Did your Bureau make that assessment and convey that information to the Prime Minister?
The ATSB assessed the detections that have been made by Ocean Shield that were consistent with the underwater locator beacon associated with flight data recorders. And on that basis, being the best lead we had at the time, we encouraged the continued pursuit of that lead.
So you made that assessment that you conveyed, that it was your assessment on which the Prime Minister made that statement?
I'm not familiar with the basis on which the Prime Minister made his statement. There was an overall coordination process among a number of agencies to assess all the information that was coming in relation to the search. I have no visibility of how the Prime Minister was briefed.
So in relation to this assessment from the Ocean Shield, we now know that the frequency was not the frequency that you would expect from the black box. So do you now accept that your analysis was wrong?
We continued with our analysis, Senator, where there were some characteristics of the signal that could be explained by things like damage to the underwater locator beacon and the lenses on it to make a movement from 37.5 kilohertz to 33.4 as detected. We are still, but not as a priority, trying to understand exactly what the nature of those detections were. But at this stage, we're more focused on ensuring that we are focused on the correct area for the underwater search.
So was the Prime Minister premature in making a statement such as he did, as emphatic as, we're confident we know the position of the black box flight recorder?
I'm not sure that's a matter I can comment on, Senator.
Well, I'm just trying to establish AMSA didn't provide the advice to the Prime Minister. I'm asking, did you provide the advice to the Prime Minister that it was credible that the signal could be from the black box?
No, I provided no such advice to the Prime Minister.
Or the Prime Minister's department?
No, Senator.
So if it wasn't AMSA and it wasn't you, which other departments were involved?
The overall exercise was coordinated by a Joint Agency Coordination Centre, and the Prime Minister's department is responsible for briefing the Prime Minister.
I understand that, but if it wasn't you and it wasn't AMSA, which other departments would have been assessing those signals?
The coordination was undertaken by the Joint Agency Coordination Centre, Senator.
Well, which other agencies?
The other agencies involved were the Department of Defence, on board Ocean Shield, the US Navy and one of their contractors. This was quite a complex set of people all having input to assessment of a signal in a quite complex situation and at speed.
Narrows it down to tens of thousands of people who are told.
Probably about 100 would be our assessment, Senator.
About 100, okay.
All right, thank you. Is that the end of your
No, I
questions?
just
And
wanted
normally
to
you've
have
got time for one more.
Okay, and so I'll ask you in relation to a former academic, a Mr Genghis, who says that he emailed you with regard to his specialty is in terms of assessing cloud structures to look at emissions and in terms of the assessing where the plane may have gone down, that on June the 17th, Mr Bosworth sent him back a list of 11 questions and it wasn't followed up beyond that. Can you just explain to me why you didn't pursue that with him?
Because we never received an adequate response to our 11 questions, Senator, and so we didn't see that it was useful to continue to pursue this issue. We had received information from government agencies about the available satellite imagery and its analysis, including in relation to possible condensation trails, so we thought we had a reasonable understanding of that element of the event.
So you didn't think you needed to follow it up further?
As we say, we asked Mr Genghis for some further information, including in relation to his techniques, and we did not get sufficient information in return from him to make an assessment of the quality of what he was offering to us.
Senator Nova Perez.
Oh, thank you, Chair. I just wanted to know if has there been any safety investigation reports for the Darwin port in the last 18 months?
Darwin Port?
Yeah, the port of Darwin.
Not aware of anything? No.
Nothing?
No, there isn't, Senator.
Okay, no worries, thank you.
Chair, last one.
Thank you.
I'll go.
No, I've got Senator Forster's got questions. Thank you.
I'm waiting, Councillor.
Oh, right.
Okay, just a quick one. Mr Dolan, you have indicated to the committee that an employee was counselled for credit card misuse.
We've had several cases, Senator, where employees have inadvertently used a Commonwealth credit card when they should have used their personal credit card. They have reported it, immediately rectified.
They reported it? Self-reported it? Okay, all right. That's it? Only the one?
No, several.
Several.
And we've tightened up our processes.
But they all came out and said, hey,
distinguishing
we
the
made a
card.
mistake. So
Yes,
have you
and
done it?
we check all credit card transactions, Senator, so we would have had visibility of it if it hadn't been reported.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
One question.
Just one question. Australian newspaper report in July, Qantas Chief Pilot Chris Manning, apparently respected pilot, concerns about safety at Newcastle, Townsville and Darwin airports, and he's saying that the loss of separation where these three airports, the traffic controllers are military, The report found that between 2008 and 2012, military controllers were involved in 36% of all loss of separation incidents, despite controlling only 25% of air traffic near terminals. Are you aware of this?
That's
I mean, as much as I have the utmost respect for our military, those figures, statistics are concerning. 36% separation problems when it's only 25% of the air traffic of these 3 military-controlled areas, Darwin, Townsville, Newcastle.
The figures Mr Manning quoted, Senator, were from a report prepared by the ATSB in relation to losses of separation in Australian airspace, and we did draw attention to the fact that the rate of loss of separation events in military-controlled airspace was higher than in civilian-controlled airspace.
So what have you done about it?
We made recommendations for trying to move towards a situation where the same level of regulatory scrutiny was applied to military air traffic controls.
And you'll
as was to
monitor and
civil.
see that there's improvement there, hopefully?
We continue to monitor our recommendations and how they're carried out, Senator.
Thank you very much for that. And could I just thank ATSB for their attendance tonight?